Hey, what's up everybody? Fred Minnick here, and today I am going to taste and review the Oron Scotch line. So this is a new blended Scotch that just came out, and I'm going to tell you more about that here in a second. But this video and many videos to come, I am turning into fundraisers. And so what you'll see when you are watching this video on your laptop or on your phone or tablet, you'll see that there is a place for you to donate money to a charity group called Forgotten Not Gone. This is a group that I worked with for my Super Bowl event, and we ended up raising a lot of money for them there, and I want to keep that trend going. So if you'd be so kind, take a look at it. What they are doing is that they are trying to prevent veteran suicide. As an Iraq war veteran, I cannot tell you how important this is. When we get home from war or whatever conflict that we've been a part of, or even just getting out of the military, it's very difficult for many of us to readjust, including myself. I've talked about my struggles with PTSD many times. I'm open about it, and I'm here to tell you it is not easy readjusting into this world after you have been facing combat or been in the military, where things just don't always make sense at the time, but when you become a civilian, they make a lot more sense. Anyway, if you'd be so kind, take a look at that and support them if you can. Now, Oron is a new blended Scotch that is, I'm really fascinated by this brand, and I'm going to take you to their website in a second, because it's probably one of the most transparent websites I have ever seen, especially in Scotch. They have their blends, and they have listed out every single one of the components down to the year and the distillery it came from, and the percentage of it that's in there. And so I'll break these down a little bit with each one. I'll tell you about the person behind it. The person behind it is someone a colleague actually, a writer named Jim Murray. So Jim Murray is a longtime critic and writer behind the Whiskey Bible, and he's putting his name on a whiskey. And so this is his first release. This is something that's very interesting to me personally, because I've never done that. I've done barrel picks and everything. I've been asked I've had brands reach out to me before and asked me to be a part of their brands. I've turned them down. I've had people try to get me to start new brands with them. I've turned them down. But I've never thought about like being on the blending side, even though I've been approached about it. And so Jim doing this is kind of like, could I do that? Should I do that? I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. I kind of like my direction where I'm at. I like what I do. But Jim's definitely been at it far longer than I have. He started in the 90s when I was not even, legal to drink. So I'm still a pup in this world in comparison to Jim. So I'm very excited to taste this whiskey and to get an idea of kind of what it's all about. So I'm going to start with this right here, Oron batch 1, blend 1, and it is a 50% malt and 50% grain. Now, right now I'm posting you can see a video of the website that is showing you the blend composite, and you're looking at everything from a 21-year-old single grain, 34-year-old single grain. You're seeing some really well-aged single malts in there, like Glen Grant. So 24-year-old Glen Grant by itself, sign me up for that. But I'm really excited to taste this. Let's see what we know. We know Jim can be very good with his tasting notes. Let's see how good he is as a blender. Of course, when you've got a palate, when you got an actual palette of things to play with, like he's got there. Whew. Okay. So the nose, very, it's got some pepper to it, it's got some honeysuckle to it. A little lavender. Slight hint of peat. Little petrol in there too. Very excited to taste this. Oh wow. That's 100 proof. Wow. And it's complex. You know, I know most people who watch my stuff, you know, you're American whiskey fans. And I'll tell you that a lot of people in American whiskey are turned off because they think a lot of people in American whiskey are often turned off by Scotch because they feel like Scotch is going to be peaty, overpowerful with smoke. And, you know, some people have that, you know, genetic disposition to like think that it tastes like a Band-Aid. Well, I think this would be a good Scotch for you if you're like looking to like walk yourself into it, because there's a lot of sweetness here. It's not oak forward. It's not coming at you like a bourbon. It's coming at you like a Scotch, and you do get hints of peat and everything, but it is a good example of complexity within balance. So this is lighting up my back of my palate, which is where I detect spice. Everybody's palate is different, but for me, the spice really comes in heavy on the back of the palate, and I'm just getting overwhelmed with black pepper, citrus, especially grapefruit. I'm getting a lot of honey on this, and I get slight hints of peat. I'm gonna say, like, you all know it when I taste this note, when I taste this one note, and if you can guess this note, put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section if you can guess the note that I love, that when I taste it, I'm like, I found it. It's there. Marzipan. I get like this kind of almond, honey kind of thing. So I'll just kind of combine it together and say it's marzipan. This really has a lot going on for it. And the finish is still very prominent. I can still feel it on my tongue. Yeah, this blend 1 for Oron is an absolute hit. This is delicious. I would say this is a contender for, you know, for a lot of this should be a contender for a lot of people's like whiskey, you know, blended whiskey of the year. It's that good. I rather like it. So let me go to batch 2. I'm sorry, blend 2. Got to get out of my American whiskey head here. Go to blend 2. Which blend 2? You got a lot to live up to, buddy. Let me go ahead and show you the blend components of blend 2. You've got another 34-year-old single grain and another 24-year-old Glen Grant. But just take a look at, I mean, I just love the graphic that they put on the website. Okay, it smells like a completely different whiskey. Also 100 proof, also 50% malt, 50% grain, but this smells like it has a hell of a lot more oak in it. Like, I smell oak in this like there's no tomorrow. This has got a lot of oak in it for me. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on the oak note there. I get some pear, I get some apricot, but it's oak first, and then some fruit. Not used to smelling that on a blended Scotch, like that deep of oak. It's a very, very, very deep smell of oak, and what I mean by that is, there's hints of oak, and there's over oaked, but over oaked is typically like the smell of, like, it can be very green or old. Like, this isn't green or old in the terms of the smell of oak. This is just, there's a lot of oak smell there, and it's not necessarily bad. It's kind of like you're in a lumber yard, and you may pop out like a candy bar in the middle of a lumber yard, but as you're eating this candy bar, you're smelling lumber. And so that's kind of like what I get. And I don't think that's a good thing, at least for my perception for the first nose. Okay, so here we go. Definitely more like the first one on the palate, but more middle palate than back of palate feel for it. It remains fruity on the palate. I don't get a sensation of over oakness or an incredible amount of oak on the palate. So what I smelled is not necessarily what I tasted. But first impression is that blend one kind of knocks it out of the water. So what's interesting about this one is very lingering in the middle of the palate toward the front. And it's like drawing up a lot of these fruit notes for me. I'm getting slight hints of smoke, kind of like a campfire smoke, not a deep level, peat. There might be a slight hint of peat there, but it's not significant for me anyway. And I find the notes of fruit to be very dominant, and I'll stick with apricot, peach, maybe some marmalade, pear. It's got a lot of these kind of really nice fruit notes to it. After that, I'm looking at maybe some nuts, maybe some almonds, maybe some pecans, but not really feeling like this one lives up at all to glass one. And the finish is gone too. The finish is gone. Yeah, the depth of blend one. Let's blend one. So much deeper, more surface area on my palate. Really digs in deep in the back of the palate. It just really holds on, just penetrates back there and just holds on and just literally peppers it with like pepper. And then when I come to blend two, it's very different. You got to taste for yourself. Every taster is unique, just like we're athletically different. We all taste differently. So anyway, that's my review here. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to become a subscriber, click subscribe. Put in the comments section what you'd like to see me review. And maybe I've already reviewed it, because I reviewed a shit ton of stuff here on this channel and just generally out there. Usually I'm tasting about 900 products a year. Sometimes I review them publicly, sometimes I don't, but I taste a lot. But thank you for tuning in. Be safe out there, and remember, vodka sucks. Cheers.